Hello everyone, X-Walk Hill Bethelite here. And there's an article on jw.org. And this article is discussing religion's role in wars, particularly the Russian-Ukrainian war. Is discussing religion's role in having an opinion, essentially, about the goings-on of the Ukraine and Russia war. Now, those articles are directed by who? The governing body, right? Well, once you learn that half the governing body was in the United States military, well, that makes you look at that article from a different lens. How are you, the governing body, going to talk to the world like you're high and mighty, like you're such Christians, like you have not had anything to do yourself with war, when half your leadership is out of the United States military? We'll just give a couple for example. Samuel Hurd, I believe, was in the military. Correct me down below in the comments if I'm wrong. Another one is Tony Morris. These are members of the governing body. These are the people directing what articles are placed on jw.org, what articles are studied among Jehovah's Witnesses. So if the people directing these articles are not free of guilt themselves of what they write about, we have a problem. How can you expect religious organizations not to have an opinion on wars when you yourself were in the military? Far from just having opinions of wars, you took part in them. So let's look at it from a different perspective. Regardless of the side you take in the Russian-Ukrainian conflict that's going on today, the soldiers, the people fighting in the war, you don't get any more involved in war than that. The actual soldiers, the people fighting in the war, well, they have the same job, they have the same career as members of the Jehovah's Witness governing body. Listen, they are on the career path to become Jehovah's Witness governing body. How can you say they shouldn't take part in war? They shouldn't have opinions on who wins and loses. These churches shouldn't have an opinion on the well-being and welfare of its own members, of its own country. How can you say that as a person whose career path was one of a soldier? The governing body, when they talk about neutrality, right? They're talking from a perspective of a person who was not neutral. They were not neutral. So how exactly are they in a position to tell Jehovah's Witnesses they should be neutral, or to speak to the Russian Orthodox Church and tell all its members, you all should be neutral? Now, we came right out of the United States military, but you all should be neutral over there. How about the Catholic Church? You over there in the Catholic Church, you all should be neutral. You shouldn't have an opinion on wars. You shouldn't discuss anything going on if it has to do with war. Don't pay attention to the fact that the people speaking to you are right out of the military. This is hypocrisy. This is not just hypocrisy. It is a very high level of hypocrisy. What happened when Russia, that country, affected Jehovah's Witnesses? What happened when they banned Jehovah's Witnesses? Well, are they going to just be neutral? Are they just going to, we just won't get involved. We'll let them do what they need to do as a nation, but we just won't get involved. No, they had the whole world writing a letter campaign. They definitely got involved. Oh, yes, indeed. They're going to get involved if they feel it affects their organization. They had half the world writing letters and sending it to Russia because they were affected, right, by what was going on. Well, currently, the headquarters of Jehovah's Witnesses are headquartered in America. They benefit from the United States military, in that all these wars going on in all these different countries, well, the governing body isn't that concerned because the United States military keeps the governing body and you and I, a lot of us who are in America, safe. That's the reason we can go about our daily lives and not care about what this country over here is doing, not care about how many missiles this country over there is developing, not care about the military drills this country over here are performing. Why? Because we know we live in a world power where we don't have to be as concerned as other countries that don't have as much protection. So the governing body, members of the military themselves, are sitting comfortably behind the United States military, telling everybody else and all these other countries, well, if you're a Christian, you shouldn't care about this country about to bomb you and kill you. You shouldn't care that Russia is about to invade, or has already invaded. You shouldn't care about all these tanks rolling into your country. Why? Because us as the governing body, we sit in America where we don't have to worry about it. Yet when Jehovah's Witnesses are affected, governing body is affected, oh yeah, then they worry about it. Oh yeah, then they get involved. This is, why would Jehovah approve of hypocrisy? If I tell you you should not do something that I did as a career, you have to realize that from a moral perspective, I don't have the right to instruct you in an area where I myself was wrong. If the governing body is stating they were wrong in being part of the United States military, if this is Tony Morris's stance, he was wrong as a part of the United States military, well, then that means he does not have the freedom of speech to then counsel Christians all around the world on their stance in regards to wars in the military. Keep in mind, we're talking about churches just having an opinion. Watchtower Jehovah's Witnesses will condemn churches for just having an opinion. Yet their leadership is right out of the military. The Jehovah's Witnesses, the members of that particular religion, when handing out this type of literature that they were handing out, when directing people to jw.org to look at articles, instructing people not to involve themselves, not to have opinions on wars, not to pray for the soldiers, even though it's members of their church, members of their community. They're taking part in the hypocrisy of the governing body. You can't have a bunch of ex-military saying Christians should not be involved in the military. This is not morally right. Why would Jehovah select as the only people to represent him a group of people who are hypocrites? Let's say, for example, Ukraine, just for an example, that Ukraine was full of Jehovah's Witnesses. Ukraine, as a country, the population was primarily Jehovah's Witnesses. Well, when Russia runs through with the tanks and planes and the guns, not that I'm taking sides here, but let's just say, for an example, 90% of Ukraine are Jehovah's Witnesses, and Russia attacks. Well, based on how Jehovah's Witnesses responded when they were affected by a Russian ban, when they were affected by a Russian ban, they made a big deal out of it. Well, if the Jehovah's Witnesses were directly affected, if the headquarters of the Jehovah's Witnesses was in Ukraine, you better believe that the Jehovah's Witnesses, just like any other group of Christians, would definitely have an opinion about Russia invading. The only reason Jehovah's Witnesses pretend we don't have an opinion is because they're headquartered in America, where they don't have to worry about being invaded. That's hypocrisy on another level. Yes, ex-soldiers telling the world they shouldn't have any part of the military or war, that is hypocrisy. But it's hypocrisy times 2 to hide behind the world's largest military. Where are Jehovah's Witnesses headquartered? Where the world's largest military resides. The Jehovah's Witnesses are headquartered behind, they hide behind the biggest military on the planet, or at least the most powerful military on the planet. A group of people hiding behind or headquartered behind the largest military on the planet, the group of people whose tax money, even if they don't fight in wars themselves, but their leadership, their governing body was part of the military, and their tax dollars all go towards the largest, the most powerful military on the planet and its activities. And they want to counsel everybody else. They want to cancel the Baptists. They want to counsel the Catholics, Orthodox. They want to counsel all these other people about what they should and what they shouldn't do in regards to their countries being under threat, their countries going to war, when they're being hypocrites because they were members of the military. And it's no mistake that they're headquartered hiding behind the United States military while saying all this. It is such a hypocritical stance. Jehovah's Witnesses, if you follow them, if you're a member of Watchtower and you're following the governing body, then you by default are also a hypocrite. Because you would have to say that you are in agreement with the articles on jw.org telling everybody else they should not have anything to do with war, and these articles coming from ex-military. That means you approve of this. Jehovah's Witnesses really need to pray. They really need to do a self-evaluation on their stance of hypocrisy. God would not approve of hypocrisy. The Bible speaks negatively, very negatively, about hypocrisy. This is clear hypocrisy. If the governing body was headquartered in any other country, you better believe they would care about war, the military, and their country, because they would have less protection. Their lives would be at threat when other countries were involved with war. The only reason they can stand there and say in a high and mighty voice, we're neutral, is because they're hiding behind American military weaponry. Move your headquarters somewhere else and then state that. Let's see if the governing body really does have the conviction of their words. Move your headquarters off from behind the largest military on earth and then counsel everybody else about if they should care if a country is about to invade them. We don't have to worry about being invaded here in America. It's the honest truth. We don't have to worry about being invaded right now in America. And that's why the governing body is such a big hypocrite and counseling everyone else in the world about they shouldn't worry about being invaded because we don't have to worry about it. Jesus Christ would not be that big of a hypocrite, meaning Jesus Christ is not the head of the Jehovah's Witness Watchtower organization. 937-789-4029. We'll discuss it. Send me a text. I'll try to get back to you. X Wall Kill Bethelite signing out.